everyone, and welcome. We are thrilled to have you here for our very first session of our Growing Together series. This series is for child care providers like you because we know how vital your role is in supporting young children. Today's session is called What is Early Intervention and Why Does It Matter? We'll explore what early intervention looks like, who it serves, and how we, as therapists, can partner with you in ways that strengthen what you already do every day.
Yes, thanks for taking the time to be here. We know your days are full of routines and learning and energy. You are guiding children through some of their most important developmental moments, and that's exactly why we're so excited about this series. We're using the theme Growing Together because that's truly what early intervention is all about. Just like flowers need light, water, and care to bloom, children need consistency, connection, and support to thrive, and you are part of what makes that growth possible.
So whether you've worked with early intervention before or this is all new to you, we think you'll walk away from today with a stronger understanding of how to recognize when a child may need extra support and how to partner with the EI providers in the classroom. So let's tell you a little bit about us.
My name's Ann Christopher, and I'm an occupational therapist with Henrico County's Early Intervention Program. I've been in the field for over 30 years, and during the time I've worked in a variety of settings, but working with infants and toddlers is one of the most rewarding parts of my career. In early intervention, I focus on helping children engage in daily routines. Things like play, self-care, movement, and sensory regulation. I also work closely with caregivers and daycare providers to build strategies that are realistic, respectful, and effective in natural environments.
And I'm Gracia Holtz, a speech-language pathologist in the same program here at Henrico. I've been practicing for more than 20 years with a focus on early communication development, social interactions, and feeding. My approach is all about empowering caregivers and providers with simple, practical strategies that can make a big difference over time. Whether a child is struggling to use words, follow directions, or safely explore different foods, I'm here to help support the adults around them so that progress can happen all day long, not just during a session.
We're excited to connect with you and share ideas that will strengthen the work you're already doing. So let's dive in.
What is early intervention? Early intervention, or EI, is a program that provides services and support to infants and toddlers from birth to age 3 who have developmental delays or certain medical conditions. These services are designed to help children build skills in the context of their everyday life.
And by everyday life, we mean routines like playing, eating, getting dressed, and participating in classroom activities. We work with people who are already in the child's life to make small, meaningful changes that stick.
So EI focuses on several key developmental issues or areas. Speech and language skills like understanding and using words, self-help skills like feeding and dressing, gross motor skills like crawling and walking, fine motor skills like using hands to grasp or draw, cognitive development like learning through play, feeding and swallowing, social emotional development like engaging with others and managing frustration.
What's important to understand is that a delay in any one of these areas might affect how a child functions in their daily world. We look at how a child participates, not just how they perform in a formal test.
I recently worked with a child who was almost 2 and didn't say any words. He also gagged at most foods. Instead of working in a clinic, we worked right in his daycare classroom during snack and circle time. Over time, the provider used consistent language routines and mealtime strategies, and the child began to say things like more and all done using signs and then words. These gains did not happen in isolation. They happened through routines that felt familiar and safe.
One of the most important things to know is that the early years, birth to age 3, are a period of rapid brain development. In fact, research tells us that by age 3, a child's brain has already developed about 80% of its adult size and complexity.
So that means that the toddler years are a very crucial window. It's when the brain is most responsive to new experiences, relationships, and learning. So when a child is facing a developmental delay, early support during this time can lead to better outcomes later, whether that's in school, at home, or with peers.
It's not about fixing a child, it's about helping them develop the skills they need in order to participate more fully. For example, if a child struggles with transitions or sensory input, it can affect their ability to join group activities like circle time, meals, or free play. But when we support them early, they can learn coping strategies that can serve them for years to come.
We also know that early support helps with kindergarten readiness. Children who receive early services are more likely to enter school with stronger language, motor, and social emotional skills. They're more prepared to follow routines, make friends, and learn new information. So EI is not just about today, it's about building the foundation for success. Children are referred for EI services when there are concerns in one or more developmental areas. Some children qualify because of a known condition like Down syndrome or cerebral palsy. Others qualify because they show delays.
Some common concerns may include a child not meeting milestones like sitting, crawling, or walking. A child may have limited speech or gestures by 18 months old. One might have difficulty using hands to play or feed themselves or hold objects. There may be feeding concerns like frequent gagging, pocketing food, or refusing certain textures. Or a child may have difficulty staying calm or adjusting to changes in the routine.
You might notice that a child doesn't respond to their name, avoids eye contact, or plays differently from peers. These observations are important even if they seem small at first. It's not about labeling a child, it's about understanding what support might help them thrive.
I once worked with a provider who noticed that a child consistently avoided messy play, like finger painting, sand play, and even with food. The child seemed upset, not just disinterested. That was an early sign of a sensory sensitivity that we were able to address through simple classroom strategies. And that was such a great observation by that teacher. If you see something that raises concerns, the first step is to talk with the family. EI referrals must come directly from the child's parent or guardian. Providers like you can't make a referral, but you absolutely can and should share your observations with the family.
And how you share matters. Use clear, non-judgmental language. For example, I've noticed how Bobby seems frustrated when he tries to communicate. Have you noticed that at home? Or, Emma's not yet walking. Do you want to talk to someone who could help?
If the family is interested, they can contact the local EI office directly. Our team reaches out to gather more information and schedule a developmental evaluation. It's a no-cost evaluation, and families can say yes or no at any point.
We have had families say that they weren't sure that anything was wrong until their teacher said something. So you are often the first one to see the patterns. Trust your instincts and know that your words may be the reason a child gets the support that they need. Once a child is evaluated and determined to be eligible for services, the next step is creating an Individualized Family Service Plan, or IFSP. This document is more than just paperwork. It's the roadmap for how we'll support the child and their family.
The IFSP is developed as a team with the family at the center. It outlines the child's current strengths and challenges, the family's priorities, and specific goals for development. These goals are tied to everyday routines.
For example, a goal might, instead of saying, Johnny will increase expressive language as a goal, we might write something like, Johnny will use 2-word phrases during snack and cleanup routines to request help and make choices. This way, the goals are meaningful and practical.
The plan also specifies the services being provided, such as occupational therapy once a week or speech-language therapy twice a month, and where the services will happen, usually in the child's home or daycare setting. The service coordinator coordinates the plan and services, and you may see the service coordinator at the daycare checking on the child.
And the IFSP itself is a living document. That means that it changes as the child grows and progresses. Every 6 months, the team checks in to review and revise goals as needed. That collaboration with families and with you as classroom providers is key to helping children succeed.
In early intervention, we work as a team. Depending on the child's needs, the team may include an occupational therapist, like me, a speech-language pathologist, a physical therapist, or a developmental services provider.
As an SLP, I work on speech, language, social communication, and feeding. You might see me helping a child practice requesting more snack, using gestures, or exploring different food textures in a way that supports safe eating.
As an OT, I focus on how a child uses their body to interact with the environment, grasping toys, climbing, calming themselves when they get overwhelmed, and participating in routines like hand washing or putting on shoes.
Physical therapists, or PTs, support children who need help with large movement skills, like rolling, sitting, walking, or balancing. Developmental services, or DS providers, focus on overall learning through play and routine-based support.
We all share a common goal, helping children participate meaningfully in their daily routines, and that includes the routines happening in your classroom.
So what are we actually doing when we show up in your classroom? You might see us sitting with a child at snack time, joining circle time, or engaging in free play. But we're not just there observing, we're working to embed strategies into your daily flow.
For example, if I see that a child has difficulty staying regulated during transitions, I might model a sensory strategy, something like deep pressure or taking a movement break. That can help them shift from one activity to the next more smoothly.
And we're there to support you. We might say, let's try prompting Johnny with a visual cue first. Or let's watch how Emma responds when we slow down the directions. We always aim to explain why a strategy is helpful and how you can use it beyond our visit.
We know that you're juggling a lot. That's why our role is not to add more to your plate, but to blend strategies into what you're already doing. We want to build your confidence, not just the child's skills.
Once, a teacher told me, when you come in, I feel like I learn a little more about how to help all the kids. And that's the heart of early intervention. It's about coaching, collaborating, and growing together.
One of the biggest differences between early intervention and traditional therapy is the coaching model. In EI, we don't come in, work directly with the child for 30 minutes, and leave. Instead, we coach the adults in the child's life, like parents, grandparents, and childcare providers.
Coaching means that we're building your skills and confidence so you can help a child learn in the moment. That might mean showing you how to support a child in using gestures during snack time, or helping you recognize a sensory trigger and adjust the environment.
It's a partnership. We observe, reflect, model strategies, and invite you to try them out. We talk through what worked, what didn't, and why. The real magic happens when you feel empowered to keep using those strategies even when we're not there.
Coaching is not about perfection. It's about shared learning, adjusting, and growing together so that everyone feels more confident. So let's introduce you to Amina. She's 2.5 and attends a busy toddler classroom. Her teacher was concerned because Amina would often avoid circle time, flopping on the floor, crying, or hiding behind furniture whenever the group gathered.
When I observed, I noticed that she seemed overwhelmed by the noise and the unpredictability of the group. She didn't know what to expect, and she didn't have the strategies to cope. Rather than labeling her behavior as defiant, we looked at what might be behind that behavior. Some sensory sensitivities, communication delays, and a need for more structure.
This is where coaching came in. We didn't just say, Amina should sit for circle. We asked the teacher what was the hardest. And the teacher said, I just want her to stay in the group without crying. That became our shared goal. We started by observing together, then brainstorming small changes.
That's why we use coaching, because coaching is a process. It's not about coming in with a solution. It's about working alongside you to discover what works. Together, we tried a few things. First, we gave Amina a defined space in the circle using a small carpet square. That gave her a sense of boundaries. Then we added a simple picture schedule so she could see what was coming next.
We also added a soft fidget to help Amina with regulation and introduced a short movement break just before circle time. But the key was coaching the teacher on how and when to support Amina, not doing it for her, but building her confidence.
After a few weeks, Amina started coming to the circle area more willingly. At first, she stayed for only one song, then two. The day she clapped along with the group, her teacher lit up and said she's part of the group now.
What's important is that the teacher made those gains alongside Amina. She didn't just learn how to help one child, she built tools that she now uses with many. That's the power of coaching. It grows your capacity, not just the child's skills. So as we wrap up the content for today, we want to spend just a few minutes talking about some of the most common questions that we hear from teachers like you. Because chances are, if you're wondering about them, someone else is too.
One of the big questions is, what if I bring up a concern to a parent and they get upset? That's a real fear because these are sensitive conversations. But you don't have to diagnose or explain everything. Just share what you're seeing in a neutral way.
You might say, I've noticed how Emma isn't using many words during play. Have you seen something similar at home? That opens the door without putting a parent on the defensive.
Another common question is, what if the parent isn't ready? That's okay. We meet families where they are. Sometimes that first conversation doesn't lead to a referral, but it just plants the seed. Some daycare workers wonder if we need a separate space to work with EI kids. The answer is no. We work in the natural environment and we do not need a separate space.
And some providers wonder, will kids outgrow these delays that we observe? The answer is sometimes, but sometimes they don't. And the earlier we intervene, the better the outcome. So early support also reduces stress for families and improves outcomes for classrooms as well.
Today was just the beginning. We've designed a whole series of short practical sessions to support you throughout the year because we know your time is limited, but your impact is great.
Each session that we offer will be about 20 to 25 minutes and will focus on topics that we know you care about. Coming up in our series, we'll explore subjects like feeding difficulties and picky eating, understanding autism and neurodiversity, managing transitions and meltdowns, and encouraging early communication and play.
We'll use real stories, simple visuals, and strategies that you can try right away. Our next session will come up on September 30th, and you'll get a reminder email with a link to YouTube, and also please note that handouts will be available with the link.
So we hope you'll join us each month. These sessions are about strengthening the connection between therapists and classroom providers, because when we grow together, everyone benefits.
Now, we know you may have questions or thoughts.
And no question was too small or too specific. Just know that you are able to reach out to us at any time, and we are here to help.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We know how much you give to your classrooms every single day with your time and your creativity. You guys are really doing great work.
You are often the first to notice when something's off, and your willingness to speak up and collaborate makes a tremendous difference. You're helping children grow stronger, more confident, and more connected, and we're honored to be part of that journey with you.
Just like a garden needs tending, children thrive when the adults around them are working together. We're excited to keep growing with you through this series.
If you think of something later or want to connect about a specific child or strategy, please reach out. Our contact information is right here on the screen. And I'm Gracia.
I'm Ann. We're always happy to talk through questions, brainstorm strategies, or just be a resource to help support you with the little ones in your care.
Thank you for everything you do, and we look forward to seeing you in our next session.